All right, guys, back with another good one for you today. Let's get into it.
Moon from the other night or day. Look real close. Do you notice anything? I circled it. Do you notice anything next to the moon? Because there's something right there next to the moon. Now, I've seen pictures of this and videos of this all over the internet. And there's some massive object that seems to be right next to the moon. Let's look again, except closer. You know I like to look closer. See that circular object? Looks like it's just behind the moon. That thing has to be massive. Massive. Now, because so many people saw that, took pictures and recordings of it, astronomers, the powers to be, people in charge, whatever, have an answer. They say that that's Venus, the planet Venus behind the moon. What? What? Now, maybe it is. I'm no astronomy guy, if that's how you call it. But this is weird. This is definitely weird, because that looks like a massive planetary object, which, of course, could be Venus, or something else entirely, right behind the moon. Let me know what you think, Pooshkies, down in the comments section. Is that Venus, or could it be something else? Till next time, Shabadoo, Pooshkies. Shabadoo.
Yeah, if it was just Venus, it seems like usually when there's some kind of astrological or whatever you call it event, they put it on the news and you'll hear about it saying, oh, Venus will be visible on this day, or the moon's going to be this on this day. And they never said nothing about that. So, yeah, it does. It makes me wonder.
One of the coolest and craziest moments ever captured on live TV. And why do I say that? Because a KTL reporter out of Los Angeles was discussing the weather on the news live, when all of a sudden a gigantic roach started to creep and crawl all over her neck. And the way she kept her cool is unbelievable. Have a look at this video for yourself. Check this out. Look at her neck.
And it's a lot more comfortable at this hour, but we're still in the 80s here in the valley. So overnight temperatures not necessarily dropping, and this leads to less recovery time from the daytime heat.
Watch again and slow motion.
I have to hand it to her. She was really calm.
I don't know if she knew that was there.
I don't know either if she knew that that was there, but wow. The way she kept her cool. Me, I would have freaked out like everybody else. I'm going to admit that. That is incredibly cool. Just watch it one more time.
And it's a lot more comfortable at this hour, but we're still in the 80s here in the valley. So
I'm done. I'm done. She was incredibly cool, brave. No way. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. How would you have reacted if that was you? And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Oh, yeah, I would have done, it would have been over with. I would have freaked out. It looks like it even went down in her shirt, too. She must not have known it was there, because I don't see anybody being that calm. But you never know.
Humans were never meant to see. Part 147.
Now, if that's some real footage, that's crazy. Did you see the people walking around up there? If not, you need to rewind it and go back and look. You can see people walking around on it and inside it.
How did this lady just find a book of Spain winning the World Cup? Now, I'm not sure how true this is, but this is absolutely wild, guys. Look at the book. It's showing that Spain is going to win the World Cup, allegedly. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but according to this book that lady found, and I don't know who that lady is and where she got this book from, but she looks like she's at a bookstore. Something is going on here, guys, and I'm telling you right now, like I've been telling you before, it's scripted. It is what it is. It ain't my fault. This is what people are saying. How is that possible, guys? Seriously, like I'm really asking a question. How is that possible? What year was that book written? Something is going on here, guys, and that book is supposedly showing that Spain is going to win the World Cup. I don't know who put that book out. I don't know if that book was trying to tell us something. I don't know if that book was made recently, but something is going on here, guys. And obviously, I never know what it is. That's why I asked you guys. Come on now, this is wow. Could it be that Spain will win the World Cup? Could it be that it's scripted like everybody is saying? Shut up! It is what it is. This is what people are saying at this point, and it's starting to look like it. Because there shouldn't be a book out there predicting that Spain will win the World Cup. That's actually very strange, and I don't even know how that's possible. But anything's possible because this video is for entertainment purposes only. Guys, I don't believe that book. Somebody probably wrote that and put it in the bookstore. I don't know what's going on in that book. Let me know if you know. I'm out.
It wouldn't surprise me none. So far, I've seen where somebody in the Ep files said that the Knicks was going to win years ago. So, and that happened. I've seen things about football on here. I've seen things about soccer on here. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me none. It always seems to come.
Your kids should know their rights.
Hi, ma'am. How are you? I'm good. We're just wondering if you want to step out here and talk to us for a few minutes. You're not in any trouble.
I'm okay. We can talk.
Do you have something to hide?
No.
Okay. Well, do you mind if we come in? It's really hot out here.
What?
No, we don't. We're gonna have to take your cell phone.
What?
No. Do you mind if we search your house? You're not in any trouble. Okay. Why don't you
She's
come
being
on
raised
station?
right.
You're not in any trouble. We just
Lawyer?
want to talk to you. Shoot. Do you have something to hide? Are you guilty of something?
No, sir. I'm just trying to protect myself. Goodbye.
There you go.
Right.
I almost feel like that was staged, but it could have been a real police vent cam. But I feel like that was just like a stage to give an example of what your kids should know.
Following footage was captured by a witness in Chicago, and honestly, this fuels the fire to this conspiracy. Watch this video really quick. Now, how many of you have heard the conspiracy that some birds aren't real? Some are implants that are actually machines recording and watching everybody. And have you ever heard of that saying, if it flies, it spies? Well, when we see stuff like this, we can't help but question and wonder, is there truth to that conspiracy theory? What is really going on around us? Take a look at it once again, comment below, and tell us what you think.
Oh, I'm sure they are putting chips and surveillance stuff on birds. Probably got it all over. Probably half the birds we see ain't real.
Everyone knows about the Mandela effect by now. The bears, spelling that no one can explain. But have you seen the Home Alone one? Because them ones are about a word, and this one is about a scene, the church bit. Kevin's hiding in the nativity, the band slows down, Marv says maybe he went in there, and Pesci looks at the church and says, that place gives me the creeps. You already said it in your head, right? Everyone remembers it, so go back and watch it, because it's not there.
Maybe we went to church. I'm not going there. Me neither. Let's get out of here.
That's the scene, word for word. I'm not going in there, me neither. No creeps, it was never said. I'm not talking about one person misremembering the film. This is thousands of people remembering the same exact 6 words. And here's what gets me. People watching it back are saying it sounds edited, like something got clipped. So I'm not saying it's another timeline. I'm not saying any of that. But with the bears, people misremember a letter. Here, thousands of people remember the same 6 words in the same order, in his voice. That's not a spelling mistake. Nobody's explained where the words come from. You don't invent a line, you remember one. So go back and watch the scene again, knowing it's not there, then tell me what you hear. Everyone knows.
Yeah, it does seem edited. The way it said when I heard it play, it's exactly what it sounds like. Sounds like something was edited.
Skills that are quietly disappearing. Number 1. Writing checks. Writing a check was once a normal part of adult life. People carried checkbooks, filled out the amount by hand, signed their name, and used checks to pay bills, rent, or make large purchases. Today, online banking, cards, and mobile payments have made check writing surprisingly rare. Number 2. Reading cursive handwriting. Even if someone can write in cursive, reading older handwritten letters and documents is becoming harder. As fewer schools teach cursive, many younger people struggle to read historical records or even their grandparents' handwriting. Number 3. Reading analog clocks. Reading an analog clock was once a basic skill every child learned in school. People relied on clock faces with moving hands to tell the time, whether at home, work, or in public places. Today, digital displays are everywhere, and many younger people struggle to read an analog clock quickly. Number 4. Using a compass. Before GPS and smartphones, hikers, explorers, and soldiers depended on a compass to navigate. Today, many people carry one in their pocket without realizing it, the digital compass inside their phone. But very few know how to use a traditional compass with a map.
Yeah, I didn't know the phones even had a compass. And checks are, I ain't seen nobody write a check in a long time. Them things are obsolete now. You don't even get paid by a check no more.
Have you ever looked at the genetics of highly talented people? There's a lot of folklore out there that there are people who are psychic who come from psychic families. This was a couple of years ago. We decided to do an experiment where we recruit 3,000 people who say that they're psychic from psychic families. And then we do all kinds of vetting to make sure that they are who they say they are, and they have some talent, and we get their DNA. We only had enough money to find out of the 3,000 people, 13. So we get their DNA. Then we find match controls, and we do standard methods of comparing the two sets of genomes. And so we found something that we didn't expect, which was the psychics were all so-called wild type. They didn't have any unusual things happening in their DNA. The controls had a significant effect in an intron sequence. It's the thing between the genes. These controls had a mutation in their intron sequence. So they were turning something off. We still don't know exactly what. And so one of the people on our project was a specialist in the genetics of societies. And he found that countries that were exposed to Christianity, the longer they were exposed, the more this intron sequence was there, the mutation. Started thinking, well, how does that make any sense? And suddenly we understood. The Inquisition had systematically looked for people over hundreds of years who had these abilities, and then they killed them. You think about this is a non-evolutionary method, but nevertheless a pruning of a portion of humanity. So they were getting rid of people who had this, and what were left over were people who had this no psychic stuff at all. The eugenics in an opposite direction, where they weren't trying to pull people for talent, but get rid of the talent. And you can see it in the genome. Have you ever looked?
Yeah, that ain't surprising. I believe there's a lot of weird things.
Are 4 undefeated proofs that the Earth is flat. First, ships can always see lighthouses, no matter how far they are. If the Earth were a sphere, this wouldn't be possible. The lighthouses should be under the curvature of the Earth and should not be visible, not even with binoculars. Second, the temperature difference between Antarctica and the equator is huge, although the distance between them relative to the Sun in the round Earth theory is minimal. The flat Earth theory shows this clearly because the Sun rotates above the equator and it is hot there, and further from Antarctica and therefore cold there. Third, if the Earth were a sphere, airplanes would have to constantly adjust their angle, but they don't. This means that they would eventually fly into space, but this doesn't happen, which again shows that the Earth is flat. If the Earth was round, that means that if you're flying in a plane above it, you would have to tip the nose down every few seconds to stay with the curvature of the Earth, because I believe, what do they say? It's 360,000 degrees of circumference, something like that. So here's the thing, is every pilot I've ever talked to, they never tell me ever once they ever dip the nose down. They just literally fly straight across, right? And so if the Earth were round, and you were to fly literally straight across without pointing the nose down to stay with the curvature, then you would just fly into outer space and land somewhere else.
Yeah, that channel makes some pretty interesting points on flat Earth, but
my grandpa wouldn't give away this awesome trick. 1. Accidentally locked yourself out? Don't rush to call a locksmith. A hard plastic card can solve it. Slide it through the door gap, push against the spring-loaded latch gently, and you can open the door in an emergency. 2. Concrete post hole damaged? Drive 18 screws into the damaged area, using them as an internal support frame. Nail wooden boards on the sides as a temporary mold. Fill the hole completely with cement mortar. The repaired area will be much less likely to crack again. 3. The woodworking master is a genius. 3 wooden pieces combine to create a positioning clamp, suitable for processing angled cuts on different boards. Increasing the contact area and improving friction, it prevents the workpiece from sliding during cutting. 4. New house corners chip easily when bumped. Fix a grinding wheel at the top of the wall corner, place a putty knife against the wheel to remove the sharp edge, create a smooth, rounded corner, making the corner more impact resistant and less likely to break. 5. Always making a mess when adding lubricant, insert a straw into the oil bottle, block the top of the straw with your finger. Using air pressure difference, you can accurately apply oil into the lubrication hole. 6. No pipe wrench to remove a faucet. Use a steel ring around the faucet. Insert a screwdriver through the ring as a lever. A gentle twist is enough to remove it. My grandpa wouldn't.
Voodoo dolls, how close are they to the movies?
Not at all. Hollywood has always given it the evil and, for I'm sure racial reasons, tried to make it all dark. The doll is just an innocent bystander. The doll is the effigy until it becomes someone or something. It could be for healing, for protection, love or sex, and tie it under your bed. I mean, there's different things that they can be. It doesn't mean they can't cause problems. I would find voodoo dolls, let's say, in graveyards, sometimes voodoo dolls in front of your place, and you've got to undo it. It doesn't mean you can't cause pain. It just means if I stick a pin here, you're not going to feel it.
Where did she get racist from making voodoo dark? Or am I lost? Am I thinking about it wrong?
Reasons why boys start to lose feelings for you. The last one is the biggest reason. One of the biggest reasons a boy will lose feelings for a girl is if she is way too friendly with other boys. If you say her or period around a boy, don't be surprised if he suddenly loses feelings for you. Did you know that you can see who your soulmate is? They are the first person that pops up when you click the arrow, then more. If a boy is the one always starting the conversation and texting first, 9 out of 10 times, he will just start losing feelings. Comment, I know why, and let your keyboard finish the sentence. If a girl is being extremely dry on text and hardly ever responds, the boy will end up just losing feelings for her. Before this last fact, please like this video and click the plus, as we may never see each other again. Now, if a girl has way too many guy friends, the boy will instantly lose feelings. Be gone.
Yeah, I don't know. But if a woman has too many, is too friendly with guys and has too many guy friends, yeah, I definitely lose interest because it's only a matter of time before that friend becomes her boyfriend. So, because a guy friend is just a backup plan. That's all that is. Or she's trying to see if he's interested in.
Things we did in cars in the 80s that kids today will never experience. Back then, parking lots weren't exactly safe. Before getting out of the car, you'd pop the faceplate off your car stereo and take it with you so nobody would steal it. They even came with little carrying cases so you'd walk around the mall with your stereo faceplate slung over your shoulder. Cars were full of hazards. Take the cigarette lighter, for example. Plenty of curious kids ended up with those little ring-shaped scars on their hands after touching it. Power windows? Nope. You had to crank them up and down by hand. Honestly, it was a pretty good arm workout. Kids today will never know that the door key and the ignition key were often 2 different keys. Most people carried at least 2. And sometimes the trunk even had its own separate key, making it 3. There were no iPads and no smartphones. The ashtray in the car door was basically the only thing to play with. Otherwise, you'd stare out the window for hours watching the scenery go by and asking, "Are we there yet?" over and over again. If you remember all of this, you're officially getting old. So, how old are you?
Up front of that dash brought back some memories, man. I remember my mom and dad, they had a 79 or 78 Buick LeSabre. And everything he just listed off was true. Huh. I remember it. Do you guys remember? Are you too young, too old? You remember older cars?
So Jesus and Lucifer, again, people think that that's 2 different people. It's the same person. That's the reason why their birthday is the same. Lucifer's enemies created the Bible and created a scroll. They changed his name and renamed him, which that's the way that they can control his energy, putting it in English content as well. So who Lucifer is, let me say this. He was the first lieutenant on the Anunnaki spaceship with Uman Ra, the Egyptian gods. When they first came here, they came here to mine gold. They came here with the Anunnakis and the reptilians and giants.
So they were all cool back then?
So what originally happened was the reason why Lucifer became a fallen angel is because he fell in love with Lilith. Lilith was reptilian bloodline. Back then, when you're thinking about species, aliens, you're not supposed to crossbreed. You're supposed to keep your blood as pure as possible. So,
Yeah, I'm sure there's all kinds of stories about aliens keeping their breed the same between Jesus and Lucifer. The only thing is who's telling the story and where they get the facts from. Or is it fact?
Did you know that Kansas is actually flatter than a pancake? So what do I mean by this? If you were to take a pancake and make it the size of Kansas, the pancake would actually have more of a bulge than Kansas itself. So how is this possible if the Earth is curved at 8 inches per mile squared? An entire state is flatter than a pancake? But the thing is, Kansas isn't even the flattest state. The flattest state in all of the United States is actually Florida. I've lived in Florida most of my life, and I can assure you that it is very, very flat. And when I went to the ocean and actually looked out on the horizon, I couldn't see any curvature as far as the eye could see. Now you're probably thinking like, oh, the Earth is too big and blah, 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 and ships disappear below the curving horizon. But they don't. All you have to do is take a pair of binoculars or a strong camera, and you can zoom in on ships that appeared to disappear below the horizon. Now, if the Earth was actually curved at 8 inches per mile squared, when the ship goes over the horizon, you wouldn't be able to zoom in on it. But the thing is, your eyes can actually just only see so far. So you can zoom right in on the ship on the sea level. I made this video entirely for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You're saying you can't see far enough to where it does look like it went down over the horizon.
On the 8th of June 2024, police received multiple calls from concerned citizens. The callers reported seeing a man on the street with an aggressive German Shepherd by his side. According to witnesses, the dog had already attacked and bitten pedestrians. Even more concerning, the dog's owner was reportedly carrying a handgun. About an hour later, officers were able to locate the man. The officer responding to the call had only recently returned to duty after completing an administrative leave. When the suspect saw the police cruiser approaching, he immediately raised his middle finger at the officer. The suspect not only flipped off the officer in a taunting gesture, but also waved the firearm in his hand. The moment Officer Brandon saw this, he immediately exited the patrol car and opened fire. However, during the exchange of gunfire, the suspect had already thrown the handgun aside. But at that point, Officer Brandon continued pulling the trigger.
Now, why did he keep shooting? It was almost like he paused after he seen the gun get thrown and then kept shooting. That right there. I think that right there, that ain't a justified one.
Guy being abducted by UFO.
Was a UFO just seen and recorded in Antarctica from a cruise ship? Let's talk about it. So there's cruises that go to Antarctica. They don't actually land in Antarctica. They just go around it or go around part of it. And on one of these, a person took a picture of something that looks like a UFO. Let me just show it to you. Now, this is the original picture and how it looks because they took it through a window on the ship. You know, it's kind of cold outside in Antarctica. Do you see that? Do you see that black type of line type thing? Well, it's not a line and it's not some kind of tunnel into Antarctica. So we zoomed that in to take a better look. Now remember, This was taken through a window on a cruise ship, so it's not the most perfect photo you'll ever find. But this does not look natural. This is not a natural object out by Antarctica. I'm going to zoom in one more time just to get a better view. This is definitely not a boat, not some kind of tunnel into the island, not an airplane, not a helicopter. And it's big. It's massive, whatever it is. Now, could that be an unidentified flying object? Sure. Could it be some kind of advanced scientific or military vehicle? Sure. But whatever this thing is, it's not some natural occurrence, I'll tell you that, baby cakes. So let me know your opinion. Tell me in the comment section. Shabadoo Booskies, Shabadoo.
I mean, there ain't enough there for me to even have an opinion on it. Except for the only thing I can say I took from that is, yeah, it don't look like it's a ship or nothing.
That's July 13th, today. I promised you I was going to reveal something because I found something. It was thrust upon me. I didn't ask for this. Now, I've been through a lot, okay? I went on social media, you know, and I started talking about it. I didn't want to do that, okay? I didn't choose this. It was thrust upon me. I saw something and I thought, you know what? I can't keep this quiet. People have said I'm crazy. People said I'm trying to, I don't know whatever it is. You know, I've been through a lot. My account got hacked twice. People trying to shut me down so that I don't get this out. Okay, but I need to get this out for that very reason that people are trying to stop me. For that very reason, I fought to get the account back, and I felt like I owed it to you, to the people that are following me and are, you know, trusting that I in fact am, you know, I have material behind what I'm saying, right? I'm putting my money where my mouth is or whatever. Okay, enough. Here we go. 7/13. You wanted it. Here it is. I delivered. Okay. Enough said.
I don't know. That looks like that's fake. That looks like he's probably promoting a movie or something. That looks like a generic fake on top of it. All right. That being said, that's the end of this video. Appreciate it if you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Till next time. See ya.